Hello, this is Whatcast and I am Matt. So Dave, Flat Earth Dave, is trying to bounce, make a comeback. We've all seen his meltdown recently that even his own community, what's left of them, are rejecting him now, saying that because they're all so fucking paranoid and mental that they don't believe that he's even on the... He was put there as well. Jerem was put there. He was a plant and a shill. Whitsitt, shill. Flat Earth Dave, because he pretended that they went, according to them, shill. Even though he refused to go himself, could have been a real shill, couldn't he? And now he's like going to doing the rounds with friendly people, people that are not going to turn their back on him, apparently. Skiba News Nation, this seems to be, right? So this seems to be the son, was it Rob Skiba, the flat earther that died a few years ago? This is possibly his son. I might be wrong about that, but it's what it looks like to me. Dave has appeared on their show. And let's see what Dave's got to say. I watched a couple of minutes of this, and it seems to me that Dave has brought back a very famous challenge that he shut up about for a little while. Let's see what Dave's got to say here.
Mr. Dave Weiss, welcome, Dave. I'm so glad that you're here, and we get to talk a little bit about TrutherCon and a little bit about other things, and I'm so glad that you were able to make it out. What were your thoughts about it?
It was great. And when you first announced it to me, I think I was one of the first people that you called inviting. I was warning you guys how much work it is, how much risk, and how difficult it is. And you guys were like, "We're up for it." And so I agree.
The irony that anybody would invite Dave to anything called TrutherCon.
To come. And as the year progressed, I saw that you had a great team on it. Jacob was on top of everything, so was everybody else, and you pulled it off with an A+ rating. And I would like to say it could only get better, but it was great already. So I'm looking forward to next year.
Awesome. And just so it's on record again on recording, I'm officially asking you to be at TrutherCon 2026. Will you be?
And as I said before my internet crashed and we had to start over, is I will be there unless somebody proves it's a globe before then.
What, other than all of the proof you've seen that you now are so scared of that you now don't talk to demons? Demons being anybody that can prove the globe and make Dave look like a prick. Because it's really weird that I'll get to towards the end of this video, I'm going to go into the comment sections of this very show here that I'm watching, to show you how fucking stupid Dave's audience is. The fact that they refuse to watch anything other than Dave do his script over and over again. They don't watch any debunks. They're not interested in the truth. None of them. They're not interested in challenging their beliefs. They just want to be the special one. TFA, hoax. Anything else, hoax. Doesn't matter. Any flat earther that changes, shill.
We all know that's impossible, though.
That's right. You were asking me before, you're like, "How wow, you're putting up a bet like that." That'd be like me saying, "Hey, Jacob, what if somebody proves that you're actually a woman? Would you bet them 3 Bitcoins that they're wrong?"
See, that would involve probably a depantsing ritual, and it's kind of like shame versus...
No, it's up for them. It's up for them to prove it. It's up for them to prove it. But
we got to give a little bit of context here, because I know starting fresh, people are going to be like, what are they talking about? Did you guys know, watching live, right? If you haven't heard yet, Dave has a competition or a bet, basically, of three Bitcoin.
He must be really confident then. 3 Bitcoin. He would never put 3 Bitcoin up because we know he's such an honest guy and would always honor that bet if it gets disproven. Because he wouldn't assume that his audience was such fucking idiots that they'd just believe anything he said if he just makes a grandstand bet and never pays it, regardless of what he sees. He would never do such a thing because he's just been to TrutherCon. Or he's going next year, whatever the fuck they just said, right? So, I'm absolutely shocked. Because he's put up 3 Bitcoin, that must mean he's really confident that no one's got any evidence for this. Even though star rotation, sunsets, Antarctica trip, everything about the sky that you could possibly imagine. Any surveyor you watch, go watch Baron Rutledge on TikTok, disprove it daily.
For anybody that can prove scientifically that the Earth is
a globe, spinning in a space vacuum, And
I'll add all of those bits now. You've also, so the globe, you're not going to get it for that. So now we've got to be spinning in a space vacuum, which he knows that the layman, there's plenty of evidence for this, but nobody could actually give Dave evidence that he would be forced to accept about that. So that's why he adds that bit now.
it's not. So the people that think they can prove it, what's the word I'm looking for? Is it ignorant? It's not an insult. They just don't know. Like, I'm ignorant to.
When people start doing trips to space, by the way, yes, I'm interrupting a lot. That's the way I roll. Please don't complain about it in the comments because I'm not going to change. If space travel starts, Dave goes into space and looks out of the window and sees the globe. He'll just say the window was CGI and he still won't pay his Bitcoin. That's how honest Dave Weiss is.
How many children you have? I don't know. So, ignorance isn't a bad word. It's just a thing when someone doesn't know. And the people that think the earth is a globe are ignorant.
Yeah, bless their heart, as we would say here in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I think
And
it's sorry.
I was going to say you're in good company because Zen did the same kind of thing, Zen Garcia.
Yeah.
And
He was taken to court.
And he won, which
Oh, fucking hell, not the court case. That absolute drivel that they lie about all of the time. Go read what it actually says and how it was declared. Can't be bothered to go into it. It's anybody that just accepts that stupid thing about the flat earth won in court without actually reading what actually happened. And it was just like Dave's Bitcoin. It was just like a kind of like, no, I don't accept that, so you can't force me to type situation.
which just makes more sense. I mean, it makes the FE movement even stronger, I think.
Yeah, the FE movement's growing. They're doing everything they can to derail it. They're trying everything, and without getting into specifics, but they have big operations. The moon landing was an anti-flat Earth operation. It was literally to distract people from Antarctica, to make people.
Yeah, distract people from Antarctica that you've just admitted that two of your former friends, let's say, have just went to last December.
People think they can live on a ball, to really push the agenda. What does it matter? It matters, right?
1969, you think that there was flat Earth was growing to such a point that we had to fake a moon landing to pretend the Earth wasn't flat? Is that what he's just suggested?
Because you're hiding God, you're hiding your true potential, you're hiding everything. You're hiding resources, free energy. So recently they did this, this Antarctica trip and it was a PSYOP operation. How they did everything, we're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, it was definitely a PSYOP, but I can't tell you a single reason why. Flat Earthers watching. That's right, it's a PSYOP. He don't need to prove it. He doesn't need to tell me why. He says it's a PSYOP, therefore it's a PSYOP. I'm not going to look into it any further because I do real investigation and I do my own research.
But it didn't prove anything, but it was literally to try to squash this movement, because this movement takes down the control system. If everyone woke up tomorrow and knew that the earth was flat, all governments would collapse. Everything would collapse. It would have to be rebuilt. That would be a good thing.
Let me tell you something else, David. If everybody woke up tomorrow and realized the earth was flat, the first thing you would do is bring out a Globe Earth app and start telling everyone they're lying to us about the flat earth. Look at this app. We live on a globe.
Yeah. And the whole thing about that is like, that's what really woke me up to the FE thing. I know my dad was like first, but he was torn between wanting to come out with it or not. And I know that he had this internal battle that was very external too, because you could see that it was upsetting him because he knew the truth.
Yeah. I met your dad a bunch of times, and he was a big influence on me on my finding.
You saw that he was making a bit of money and thought, I'll have some of that.
God, for sure. But on flat Earth.
What a load of bollocks. Now, I think, don't know if I'm right about this, but Rob Skiba, is that his name? I think, didn't he die of COVID or something? I'm not one of these channels that's going to laugh and mock people that have died or whatever just because they had a different belief to me. I respect people dying. I've got the greatest respect for the families that have lost the person. But what I'm saying is, if Dave is saying that meeting this guy, if this guy died during the early time of COVID, that would have been 2020-ish. Maybe I'm wrong. Please correct me if I am. But I spoke to Dave probably 2021, I think it was. And he was anti-religious. He was not religious at all. And this guy saying that he's now saying that his dad got him into God, made me find God. If you want to go more recent than that, I don't know when he spoke to Professor Dave, maybe 2022, something like that. He was also anti-religious in that and said it wasn't to do with religion. He's not religious. Is there any end to the lies this man will tell to keep an audience? He's now had to go full religious because that's the only flat earthers that are left, the biblical ones that think it's in the Bible.
Earth too. He had the proofs. Before Flat Earth, I'd be listening to all these podcasts. Like, these guys are great. 9/11, boom, boom. I got 5 pages of notes. And then all of a sudden they'd say, let me read this passage from the Bible, or let's pray. And I'm like, religious fanatics, tear off the paper, unsubscribe, never listen to them again. So there's so many proofs in the Bible that the earth is flat, but you can't use them against somebody that doesn't believe in the Bible. They just look at you as a kook, right?
Yep.
But science, actual science, not NASA pseudoscience, works for everybody. So
really? Citation. Which science are you using, David?
science leads you to God, right?
Oh,
God could also lead you to flat earth if you're...
What a statement. Science leads you to God. How? Like, that is probably the most false thing he's ever said.
already there, but if you're not there, you got to go with the science. So I kind of use a balance of both, but I lead with the science and then say it's also in the Bible.
Yeah.
No, you say whichever is necessary to make the person buy your app. That's what you do.
That's awesome, man.
It's not awesome.
Yeah, there's also the element that the flat earth movement is more of a conspiracy theory about what the earth isn't than a proposition for what the earth is. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, is they see the flat earth pancake and the things, that they've pushed all over Netflix and whatnot. But I mean, when you boil it down, there's a lot of the underlying conspiracies that people will admit, oh, wow, I totally believe the moon landing was faked. Or, by the way, did you see, famous Kardashian comes out recently?
I saw
saying,
that.
oh, I questioned the moon landing.
I've seen lots of pictures, and to me, I don't think they went, or something like that. Now, that's all I saw. I haven't looked into it any deeper. I didn't see the context in which she said it, but I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. So if a Kardashian had come out and said, I totally believe in the moon landing and space is real, they'd have all been said in shill, she's a shill. This is a psyop. They're trying to change people's minds because they can see the flat earth's on the ascent. But because she said that, I said, yeah, I believe that. But that's good that she said that.
My grandpa and our producer Opa, he actually played it during the live, some of the clip, and it's like, yeah, but like, do you think she really believes that? I mean, if you look
Is
at it
she
now,
smart enough?
if you look at the, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, but there's
Go ahead,
I
Jay.
just
Is she smart enough? No. That's why she thinks it's fake.
have to say, man, they're choosing people like that to come out as flat earth and questioning or whatever. And I think they're choosing these kind of scapegoats that would represent, if you're smart as Kim Kardashian, you think they didn't want to go to the moon. So you see the 4D chess kind of psychological warfare that's happening there.
Jesus Christ. They have selected a Kardashian. There's one thing I can tell you, right? It's generally that women, or females in general, are not really interested in this topic at all. So getting someone that's like a female icon that other women look up to, fuck knows why, you tell me, I don't know. But to come out and say this isn't going to have much impact, because it's generally flat earthers. There's more women flat earthers than there is women anti-flat earthers, if you like, or women that are interested in the topic. So you'd be better off. The point I'm trying to make is, if you're going to plant them to say that the earth is flat as a psyop or something, you'd be better off doing a bloke.
Where they're using these pop stars that people have looked down on in the past, and then maybe they're just trying to and then directly after she comes out, NASA has an official statement addressing her claims that, no, we have been to the moon 6 times and we're actually, oh man.
But we lost the technology, and okay, so we were talking about, so
Look at Dave's actually in his element. It's like he's going to get his cock out, because he's like, his face is like, yes, people still like me. I've still got 2 friends here, and I can actually have a community again. Maybe if I push it hard enough, I can start selling my app again.
the old Superman with George
Not
Reed.
that anyone would give a fuck that Vicar Drazif and that Bellend Vlad have ditched him.
Yeah.
It was my grandpa's favorite show. So if you look at the footage now, like if you looked at it from back then, it looked cool, it looked real, it looked authentic. Like he really looked like he was flying. But if you look at the moon landing now, it looks so fake.
It looks worse than the Superman.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It looks worse.
It's absolutely. The thing is, the moon landing, that's my litmus test. Like if I'm talking to somebody on TikTok or whatever, and I'm like, do you believe we went to the moon? And if they're like, yes, I'm like, you're not ready for this conversation.
Yeah.
Because the moon landing is the litmus test. What was I going to say? Oh, this isn't saying that flat earthers aren't smart, but you don't have to be smart to know that we don't live on a globe. Doesn't take a lot. You can be even a slightly person with a slowed brain. We'll say slowed instead of, the other word for
Jesus Christ. And they believe him when he says that. Like, if you think the Earth's flat, you're one of the thinkers. Don't ever look beyond my app, though. Don't actually debunk anything. Don't actually go and watch anybody else debunking stuff, the drivel that I tell you. Don't ever do that. Don't ever question it. Once I indoctrinate you, don't question it. Don't look at any evidence against it. Just marry your own ideas forever and never look beyond them. And then you're smart. And people fall for that. They fall for it. They do exactly what they all accuse everyone else of doing. Become indoctrinated and will not look outside of their indoctrination. Regardless of the final experiment or anything else you could show any of these people. They're ridiculous excuses. This guy hasn't even got an excuse for TFE. And yet people still but because he says it's a hoax, that's good enough for them.
Slowed.
Right.
Understand that the Earth isn't a ball and that it's flat. The problem is if you're smart. What is smart? Smart it doesn't mean certificated. Is that a word? You have all your credentials.
Yeah, you're sounding smart there. Is certificated a word?
Right? Because you were good at memorizing, regurgitating what the Rockefellers put in the books. That doesn't make you smart. That makes you super indoctrinated. So smart people think the Earth is a globe, and the average Joe Schmo thinks it's flat.
No, thick people think it's flat. Because smart people, or anybody with any type of brain, fair enough, they might just regurgitate what they learnt at school. But then they might do things like they might look up and see the sun coming from over there. And as the sun comes from over there, it's the same fucking size there as it is directly above them as it is over there on that horizon. Horizon, not horizontal eye zone. Horizon, because that is evidence of the curve. A crisp horizon, not blending into the distance like it would have to if the Earth was flat. So then the sun, when it gets over there and doesn't change size at all, which it fucking would if it was just there, because everything else does, and you can just look at a car approaching and going past and see if it appears to grow as it comes towards you and then shrink as it goes away from you, and just apply that to the sun to realize that fucker is fucking miles and miles and miles away. Otherwise it would change size drastically. You smart people could just do that. And then when it gets over to the horizon and goes down from the bottom up, and you can look at this through a solar filter and see it going below the ground. It's either going into the ground or it is going behind a curve and being hidden by something because it's going that way and the Earth is spinning that way. That smart people would do that. Flat earthers would just hand wave that away, not even attempt to say it. Say the sky doesn't matter about the shape of the ground, even though the sunset proves the shape of the ground, and then just move on and pretend that everybody that doesn't think that is indoctrinated.
Right. So you're like, well, I'm going to go with the smart people. No, they're indoctrinated. The professors are the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's got to say that because a certain professor made him look this big on a live stream. Millions of people have seen it. That's probably the only interview he's ever done that he didn't put on his app or on his channel. I'll be on there somewhere. Professor Dave won't be.
How do you become a professor? You memorize and regurgitate everything that's in the book, and then you're a professor.
It's literally that Bible verse, thinking themselves.
Well, you couldn't defeat the indoctrination, could you then, Dave? Because he had you speechless numerous times in that debate with the professor. And he weren't even a professor, was he? So-called Professor Dave. You got annihilated by someone that wasn't even a professor. Prick.
Wise, they became fools. And
he's drinking his wank juice. I'll just say that there. Wank juice.
And people don't realize that there's a lot to it. I just want to throw this out at you because I don't know if I've brought it up in conversation before, but you're familiar with like admiralty law and maritime law and all the kind of conundrum they do in the legal system to kind of put us under some type of control. Well, you know how it's all vessel based. It's like maritime based, maritime law based, right? Well, as the
talking about being a sovereign citizen,
astronauts go out into space allegedly and turn around, they see the Earth as a vessel in a sea of space. And so if you think about the whole connection between maritime law and how you have to, like, basically the judge in the courtroom becomes
The other two blokes looking at you have got no idea what you're talking about, and neither do I.
like the captain of the ship. If they turn around and they identify the Earth as a vessel in a sea of space, then we're all on a boat together. And so they like morally are like, all right, there we go. Everybody knows you're on a vessel now.
And all space is space. The ships and the docks and the Sea of Tranquility. It's all maritime terms. But I also bring this up. Divine law is the law of God.
Yeah, so Dave's just moving on from that because nobody understood what the fuck that was about.
Common law is the law of the land. Statute law, admiral maritime law.
Here he goes. This is Sovereign Citizen. I can't be bothered to get into this because they're going off topic. Maybe I'll cover it another time. Maybe I'll do it on my next live stream. But let's look at the comment section for this video. By the way, whenever people talk, by the way, just to address this quickly, this Sovereign Citizen bullshit that people go on about. Now, whether it's true or whether it's not. Now, this is something that would interest me. But this is one thing I'll say about it, right? Everybody that you see that sits on their computer doing little TikToks or doing things like this, telling you should be a sovereign citizen and the laws don't apply to you because the law of the land and the law of God and the maritime law and all this other shit, none of them are doing anything about it. They're just telling you should. So these people, Dave pays his taxes. These people pay their taxes. They all do things. They all do things that they're supposed to do. None of them are anti-system. None of them are against anything. They just tell you should be, knowing that some idiot somewhere will be, and he'll get in a lot of fucking trouble for doing it because but they don't care about him because they've made money out of it by selling them this dream that you could just do whatever you want, and when you go to court, just quote this and be really smart, and then they'll let you off of everything. None of these people ever do that. Complete bullshit, right? I've got all the respect in the world for people. If you're going to be a conspiracy theorist and you want to make change and you genuinely believe what your conspiracy is, live by it. Do it yourself. Be the example. Be the change you want to make. Don't just sit there telling everyone else to be the change while you fucking profit from their stupidity. Right, here we go. This is the comment section. I love the way Dave delivers his... This is Hopeless Observer. You got that right, mate. I love the way Dave delivers his information. He's always citing his sources and he's a great communicator. Always a good time when Dave's on. Whenever he cites his sources, go check the source that he cited and it will contradict him 100% of the time. He knows you won't because you're a flat earther and you don't do your own research. None of you do. So he knows all he's got to do is say this is the source and you'll just go, he's got a source. Don't need to look at that source. It's true. Because you're all fucking sheep. Let's scroll down a bit more. I love your work and your no-nonsense attitude. From Shawnee there. I wish some network would have the balls to give Dave a weekly show. Dave could do a weekly show on his own fucking network. His network's bigger than any network that would let that prick on. It just repeats himself over and over again. And it's not about having the balls. The bloke talks bollocks. Literal bollocks. Like, he has literally been debunked so many fucking times, many times live to a big audience, and he just keeps going anyway. And if he was all about the truth, then he wouldn't be struggling so much at the moment. Where's the next one? Here we go. So someone's wrote this. Dave, once you go flat, you never go back. Joe Rogan hold my Antarctica lighter. Right, I don't know what that means, but I guess that's saying Jaren didn't go back, but Jaren went back. So this person here, underneath, you think, now this sums up flat earthers to me, this entire thing that this prick has written here. You think Antarctica gets 24/7 sun. It's a hoax. Weiss and Flat Earth Dave are fake flat earthers. Weiss is Flat Earth Dave. They're not two different people, unless you think they are because everybody's got a clone or whatever the stupid shit you lot come out with. No one can take anything you guys say as factual. They are hired actors with a script. Saying we can't prove anything is wrong on the final experiment. This proves Flat Earth Dave is hired actor with a script. Here's the evidence proving final experiment is a hoax. The guy's a fake flat earth actor. Dave didn't go. I think you've got the wrong people. You think that the two people... This is how stupid flat earthers are. This person's watched this video, skimmed through it because he heard about the final experiment, needed to debunk it, went and found something that he thinks debunked it, probably didn't even watch it, thought that the two flat earthers that everybody knew that went to Antarctica was called Dave Weiss and Flat Earth Dave. He thought that was the two people that went. That's what he's written there. And he's saying that they're actors, and he thinks that this is one or the other. It doesn't matter. Weiss, who's talking on here, that's one of the ones that went to Antarctica. And here's the evidence, this link that everybody fucking sends. I know exactly what it is without clicking it, to take you to some prick talking about shadows and everything else. That and chroma key and all this other bullshit that's been debunked a trillion times and flat earthers don't care about. Right? That's exactly what that is. This is how that they all should be in straitjackets and mental institutions, especially that fucking flat earth reconnaissance, whatever his name is, that thinks that like every person that doesn't think the earth is flat is an NPC or some kind of fucking psyop person that was just created to go against the real people. And he genuinely thinks that. What a fucking knob. And then you get pricks like this that listen to people like that think that everybody's a plant that's been there for 10 or 20 years, ready for this moment to disprove the flat earth. And then you got pricks like Dave doubling down with his fucking Bitcoin. This dickhead that's commented here hasn't even watched the video that he's commenting on. He's just decided, oh, Flat Earth Dave, I think I've heard him. Oh, he's the hoax one. Him and that David Weiss character that went to Antarctica. The stupidest people in the world, bar none. Please subscribe. I have been Matt. This has been Whatcast. See you later.